We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota. And there's one person who can end this now.
Now, most people are going to remember people in Minnesota talking about banana.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
I mean, the banana did go away, but I don't think this meme moment is gonna go away anytime soon.
Alex Preddy did not deserve to die. The officer who shot him should be fired. Chrissy Nome should be fired. ICE needs to be reined in. Maybe you disagree with me on some of that. Sure. But honestly, I don't want to spend the next 3 years pausing and rewinding clips to do play-by-play on whose fault it is.
In all honesty, I'm tired too.
Because there's a bigger question here. Do Democrats want humane deportations or no deportations at all? On January 13th of last year, while my city burned, Gavin Newsom committed $50 million of our taxpayer money to fight Trump's deportations. Before Trump was even in office, California gives free healthcare to 1.7 million illegal immigrants, while actual citizens can't afford theirs. Now, the mayor of Minneapolis says he will not enforce federal immigration law. The resistance started before the deportations. Every U.S. citizen killed by ICE has been in a Democrat-controlled area. And the red areas have more ICE arrests than the blue ones where Democrats refuse to cooperate. 24% of ICE arrests happened in Texas. Around 1% happened in Minnesota. But no citizen has died in Texas.
It happens way more in Texas, way better than any blue city.
The chaos is only happening in blue states. Why is that? But you know what's not red or blue? The fact that both parties are controlled by corporations who rely on cheap, illegal labor for profits. That's why, despite us giving amnesty to 3 million illegal immigrants in 1986, we now have tens of millions more. Look, these people deserve to be treated humanely. I'm open to different solutions.
But still, I think people on the left are like, well, their life was so horrible in their own country. At least we can give them this choice. It's better. And these people that are making the money, we don't talk about them. We just hate capitalism anyway. Yeah, socialism, that's what we want. Remember to subscribe.
A friend of mine just...
I'm even willing to pay them to leave and land on their feet. But they aren't entitled to be in America. They aren't entitled to free healthcare when actual citizens can't afford theirs. They aren't entitled to stay here when the only difference between them and the millions of people waiting in line is that they were willing to cut the line. The vote said deport. The law said deport. The commander-in-chief said deport. Errors with deportations don't mean we don't do deportations. We don't need to abolish ICE. We need to discipline them.
That won't convince a Democrat.
And if you want to oppose ICE, film them, sue them, vote against them. But for the love of God, resist them with your voice, not your body. Trump should rein in ICE because it's the right thing to do. But even if ICE executes perfectly, will Democrats start cooperating?
No.
Or is the goal not really humane deportations, but no deportations at all?
But hey, here you have an attorney and a self-defense expert. Let's see what he knows about this whole situation.
Nothing's inconsistent with this being a lawful use of force by the officers.
Yeah, explain that a bit more. Many people still wondering if the shooting was legally justified, and given what you've been able to review up until now, what is your opinion?
Well, the legal question is, did the officers who shot Alex Preddy have a reasonable, not necessarily correct, but a reasonable perception that he was presenting as an imminent, unlawful, deadly force threat? And that's presumed to be the case. A prosecutor would have to disprove that proposition beyond any reasonable doubt. So it's a very high burden to overcome that justification. And what evidence did these officers have? Well, the moment Alex Preddy interfered with the arrest of the woman in the white coat, gets shoved by his CBP officer, he makes contact with that officer. The moment he makes contact with that officer, he's just committed a federal felony good for 8 years in a federal penitentiary.
I'm not even an attorney. I come from a third world country. I know you don't do that, especially having something on you. And they find it and they'll be like, ooh, we have to be... Not. You never have to be careful with me.
That's why they were seeking to make his arrest, because they saw him commit a forcible felony against a fellow officer. Then he's non-compliant with arrest. He's fighting them. Then they discover he has a gun on his person. They take that gun. There's cries of gun, gun, gun. The officers call to each other. He's still non-compliant. They hear a gunshot go off, and Alex Preddy's right hand comes from his waistline with a black object in his hand. That combination of facts is going to get you shot 999 times out of 1,000 by law enforcement, and justifiably so. They're making all these perceptions, all these decisions in a violent, chaotic melee caused by Alex Preddy. They have to make all these decisions in a split second because that's how quick someone can use a weapon against you. And those decisions, again, they don't have to be correct. The law of self-defense does not require us to make perfect decisions. It requires us to make reasoned decisions, meaning you're applying your powers of reason to the facts presented to you. You're not making things up. You're not speculating someone could have a weapon. Now, probably the item in his hand would turn out to be maybe one of his spare magazines or maybe a cell phone, but it doesn't matter what it actually was. It matters how it would be reasonably perceived given that combination of facts. And reasonably perceiving it as a weapon is well within the realm of reason.
I'm not justifying this, but if I want to give a person the feeling that I'm not dangerous, I have to do my part. I can always blame, hey, you have to be sure what you see with your 2 eyes is in my hand, when they're paying him to keep me safe.
I mean, I don't think it adds another layer at all. In fact, it makes the ICE agents look worse because we saw Alex Preddy get assaulted twice, and not once did he reach for his gun.
Not at all.
Can ICE agents say the same?
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? He got assaulted twice by ICE agents, and not once did he reach for his gun that he had on him both times. Can ICE agents say the same?
Not at all.
Not at all.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis.
Have you ever seen a cop? Have you ever seen somebody kick a cop's car and then push them and be like, hey, you can't touch me, First Amendment? I'm like, people, what are you talking about? Since when are you're normalizing something that is against the laws? Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen a mom gamble the life of their kids as if they have the same value as their morals, and even if they're wrong, they will never blame themselves. And anecdotally, I think that is the voter base of the left.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Dur lo que ta verde ta welcome.